a big, oh, thank you. Thanks, Ilya.
You're welcome.
So today we're gonna just go like overall throughout the whole body, and we're just gonna divide it in sort of like three things, which is pain relief, strengthening, and mobility. And we're just gonna go through overall exercises that we can do, and we're gonna go through like different situations, like, oh, you just finished, like you've been working the whole day in the chair and you're actually really tired, or you have had an injury and now you want to strengthen that part of your body. So those are the things that we're going to be dealing with today. And I would suggest, so there are some objects that I use. A lot of them can be like easily replaced with other things, but I think these are like really good investments and they're actually pretty cheap. So you have the yoga block, which you can buy for like, I think it's like 5 to 10 euros at any sports shop. This one that I have here is made of this kind of foam. Hi, Obi, welcome. And this is very good for active rest, or if, for example, for any exercises that we're going to do that, involve being stretched or being like this. And if you have pain, like if we have to extend the leg, you can always just get this and put it here. So your mobility, your hip mobility is much bigger, and this will also really help you to avoid injuries. If you don't have one of these today and you still feel like you need, if you have like a book, I would say like a dictionary or a book with like 1,000 pages would also do the trick. Then I have a really good friend, which is this little ball. And this is just like a yoga massage ball. It's quite big, this one, but you can get like a tennis ball will do. And this is very good to just massage yourself and just take care. So yeah, what time is it? All right, I'm gonna wait 1 more minute and then we can start. Also, as usual, make sure that you are somewhere comfortable, that you have your little bottle of water. And if you have any questions, feel free to just tell them to me, because you can just really go off mute and say, because I'm a little bit more far from the chat, so I cannot really see if you type there. So just say something, or if someone doesn't want to say, if someone else that feels comfortable, they can say for that. So movement rehab, welcome. So we have the first thing that we're going to do is that I just want you to sit down on the floor with lotus position, comfortable lotus. And I just want you to put your hands on your knees and just close your eyes and just imagine that you're a scanner and you're scanning your whole body. And don't try to do anything to change it, but just try to realize where the pain is, like sensing and feeling your body. Is your head hurting? Is your neck sore? Are your trapeze muscles sore? Does your lower back hurt? Is your hip struggling? Do you have tingling in your knees? Just go through the whole body like a scanner, and just don't try to change anything about it. Don't try to correct or change anything, but just notice and take notes for yourself. Start breathing here. And again, the breath in every movement exploration is where everything starts. So take this moment to bring a cadence to your breath, stability to it. And now let's open our eyes and let's start doing some exercises. Let's start with pain relief, because I think that pain is something that we all experience a lot. And we're going to start with one point that I think maybe a lot of you that have been sitting will feel, which is the lower back. And we're gonna do first some lumbar extension exercises. So the first exercise, lumbar extension. Just lay down on the mat or on the floor that you are, tuck your feet, and then bring your shoulders, bring the weight to your hands that are aligned with your shoulders, and stay. 1, 2, and down. This will help you to release. Let's do it 4 times. As I said, use your breath here. And then you would do it 3 times. So let's just alternate with another lumbar pain relief. And this is for the lumbar rotation. So for example, when you have pain on your lumbar spine and it comes from here, it may be a lot of times related to how much you're cramped or rotated. So rotating it can really, really help. So what we're going to do is that we're going to extend our legs. You can use here the block or a book if you want. And now we grab, let's say, the left leg, and the right arm goes against the knee, right foot flexed, and now look behind you. Other side. So again, spine upwards. Use the left arm against the right knee and twist. Use your breath. In breath to lengthen and out breath to relax. And find yourself going further. Very nice. After this, we have a hamstring stretch with sciatic mobilization. So from sitting down or not stretching enough, we develop a lot of pains in your sciatic nerve. And then which starts here, and that a lot of times has a connection to your hamstrings. So if you are stretching your hamstrings, you're going to feel a lot of relief in your sciatic nerve. Later on in the course, we're going to have one movement rehab class that's just dedicated to nerves, but this is a good exercise that I'm just going to take now for pain relief. So we're going to lay down and grab a sock or a band if you have an old sock. Give me a t-shirt, just something that you can manipulate. And what we're going to do is that we're going to lay down, bring your right leg up, put the sock or the band in your feet. And now we're going to keep the knee bent, but then every time that we inhale, we try to stretch the leg, and you should feel a burning sensation going from your calves to the back of your knee, to your hamstrings, and then to that nerve point, and relax. Now do it again. And relax. On the other side. It's very important how you get to the position. So don't be afraid to take all the time that you need to get one position right. So knee bent, sock up, your sitting legs stable, and now I stretch and relax. My arms are hanging in the sock. Pull it a little bit more, or have it more intense, and I relax. So All of these exercises are meant to be done in a series. So you would repeat them 3 times each. But because I have a lot of exercises, I'm just going to show it to you once. And if you have any questions, we're just going to go through different zones, and then I'll ask some questions in between to see if there's any doubts. So are there any questions about the exercise that I just showed?
I'm good.
All right, so let's go on. And let's do now some thoracic relief. So if you're writing a lot in the computer, you can slouch, maybe you slept funny, maybe you've been in a plane for a long time or riding in a bus. It's this area that feels sometimes that you have like knives in it. So these are some thoracic relief exercises. This one is very easy to do, and it's one of my favorites because it has to do with an 180 movement that connects your thumb to your neck. So all this connection goes from your finger. So what do is that you place your hips in between your feet. You're here stable. And now right thumb up, left thumb down. Look at the thumb that's down. And you keep your shoulders down. You really rotate skillfully and with loads of awareness. And you start feeling first a burn sensation in the thumb. And then you start hopefully feeling more mobility and some pain relief. The next one that we're going to do is an extension opener. So this one is a little bit more advanced. You're coming here to your knees. And now you come down. And what we're going to do is that on one side, what's going to happen is that we're here. We're going to twist inwards the right shoulder. And we're going to put it on the floor. We're going to look up. To the other side. Again, I inhale, I extend, exhale, and relax. A couple more times. Really put your whole cheek on the floor and send your hips out and feel this open. Ah, so nice. All right. And then we have one of my favorites, which is called open the book. So you're basically gonna lay down, bring your hips up, bring it to one side, to the right side, bring your arms also to one side. So you're laying down a little bit in a fetus position. Back. And now imagine that you're opening a book. Your upper body is a book. Really take a whole 180-degree movement here and back. Now the other side. Let's do it 4 times. Open that page of the book and close the book. Keep your shoulders where they should be. Don't bring them up to your ears. And let the weight of gravity open up. And all right, any questions about these ones? All right, so let's move to one of my least favorite situations, which is I slept funny, So I have this pain today, like we all know it. We probably went to bed stressed or we're worrying about something and our sleep just didn't do it for us and we're cranky and we have pain in our shoulders. Most of the times it's connected also to your pillow, that maybe you don't have enough support. Anyways, when this happens, these are some really easy hacks that you can do to help your body. So the scapula levator is normally, it's a very deep muscle that connects your neck to your shoulder here, and it's normally very tense. So there's a really quick and easy hack to do for this. So sit down in a lotus position comfortably, and let's say I want to do it to my left side. Turn to the left, down, left arm pulls. And now if you want a little bit more, grab your right arm and put it behind your head. Just enjoy the stretch. Shoulders are down. Use the weight of the gravity. Come back. Now the other side. Turn to the right. Right arm grabs head. And then the left arm behind the head. Ooh. There's a little burning sensation that feels so good when you do this. All right. Very good. And now let's do the somatic stretch upper release. And this is called somatic because it has to do with the feeling and sensation that you have in your body. And the specific sensation is pushing together. So what we're going to do on the same position, let's start with my right side. So you're going to clench like as if there was like magnetically being pulled. You pull your shoulder towards your ear and you press, and then release, and your right arm pulls. It feels weird because it's like here you tense, but you use that tension to release. It can be a bit painful, but sometimes there's pains that are relieving pains. So let's try the other side. Here, sit bones are on the floor, we're feeling good. And clutch them together like a magnet and relax. Clutch them together, ear and shoulder, and relax. So Leah, I would do it, you are doing it this way, and I would do it first, bring them towards the left. Okay. And then the head goes to the right side. Oh, okay. Thanks. Feel the difference in that? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you first, it's like they kind of are magnetized together, like whoop. Scrunch. You know? Yeah, you scrunch them and then you open and relax. Yeah, okay, that feels much better. Yeah. So no worries to ask me if I should do some exercise again if it's unclear. I've literally all the time in the world for everything. So the next one is somatic. Oh no, this one we did already. Now we're going to do a kind of strengthening / pain relief exercise. I find this to be really good, especially if I've been typing the whole day, and also it's a great way for you guys to start building up some strength. So you're going to lay with your stomach flat. You're going to put your forehead on the floor. You're going to make a fist and now rotate them back and rotate them back front. Rotate them back and rotate them back. Internal, external, internal, external. Last one, internal and external. All right, great. So these are some of the exercises that I have today for pain relief. Don't worry, I have thousands and hundreds more of exercises. And if you have a specific pain, please DM me on Slack and I can show you more, but don't worry, we're gonna go through everything. So probably you feel worked up a little bit, so have some water.
Could you actually go over that last one we just did?
Oh yeah, sure.
So the head is on the ground and it's just moving the arms.
Yes, so basically,
Okay.
you support your head with your forehead on the floor, and you put them on a fist.
Okay.
So imagine like a Superman.
Right.
But with our forehead on the floor, and now you internally rotate. So the movement would be, if I would be standing here, read this. So this.
Okay. So essentially the palm, even though it's in a fist, it ends up facing upward.
Yes,
once
exactly.
it's back behind. Okay,
exactly.
cool.
It's not that the hand is doing it, it's just a consequence
from the shoulder.
From the shoulder, yeah.
Okay.
So that's a really great question because, like articulations are kind of like layered. So let's say your shoulder is like layer 1, your elbow is layer 2, and your fist is layer 3. So think about it like that, for example. That layer 1 will influence layer 2 and layer 3. All right, thank you. So let's go to do some mobility. So mobility exercises are made for strengthening and also to open up and widen your range of motion. And this is very important, especially if you already work out. You know how so many people can, work out and do a lot of strength, and then the mobility and the range of their muscles gets very short, which then creates a lot of problems with blood circulation and posture and weakness in general. So just gonna go through like some very easy ones. And this time I'm gonna do some chair exercises because I think a lot of you are in chairs or in a computer. So we're just gonna do some nice ones. So the first one that we're gonna do is a hip thrust. So you're going to put your hands in the back of the chair like this. And now your feet are parallel to your knees here. And now you're going to thrust your hip forward and keep your chin relaxed and bring it back. Last one. What's important here? We're thrusting the hip. So make sure that you are supporting it by tucking your tummy in and supporting your lower back so you don't get hurt. Don't raise your feet in any way. Just bring it at some point that feels comfortable to you. All right. The next one is seated torso rotations. So this one, very easy to do. Again, the thumbs. So breathe in, raise your arms, keep them in front of you, and just rotate your upper body. Lower body stays the same. Accompany your body with your eyes. Keep your shoulders down. Really have it coming from the core. Very nice. All right, and last one from this series is our lower backside stretch. So you know how sometimes you are working the whole day and you start feeling a lot of pain here and here. So this is very easy to do with a chair. You can so you're standing next to the chair, you grab the up part, and now your right foot goes behind and you bend the left knee, and the right arm goes up, and you sway your hip to the right side. Start feeling a deep stretch the more you stay here. Use the chair to balance, put some weight on it. You'll feel more free from your hips. And come back. I'll show you in the back the other side, so you can see. Sorry. Here we go. Other side. It's a deep stretch you can do as long as you want. You can bend deeper, put the weight, sway your hip to the left, and come back. Great. Any questions about these ones? Let me check on the time. Ah, great. We're halfway through, and I'm halfway through my notes. So we're still gonna have some time for talking afterwards. That's great. All right, so hip mobility, especially as we are staying inside or not doing so much exercise, we can start feeling a lot of cramps in our hips, a lot of unbalance. And this is a good way for us to keep the mobility, because the hips are basically the strongest powerhouse that we have in our body. And uncompromised hips are the beginning of a lot of injuries and a lot of problems. So we're just gonna look at some simple exercises that you can do to help with your hip mobility. Again, if you have some serious injuries, these are all just rehabs. They're not, you should always visit a doctor if the pain persists or if it doesn't feel right. So let's start with our shin box external rotation. So we start here, and we're gonna open into a fourth position, which is basically, since I'm doing the left side now, left leg in front, and then the right leg like this. So the hip is sort of internally rotating inwards, which leads to my upper body unraveling on my left leg. Enjoy the stretch, keep both hips on the floor. Go deeper in each breath. And then come back. The other side. And relax. Enjoy the open. All right. Come back. Let's do a dynamic figure four. So this one is very good for this, the connection between the head of your femur and your hips. You know, the hips are a very complex series of muscles and tendons and everything. So, and especially in the hips, it really gets like jungly there. So this is a very good exercise to help with the mobility of your very inner muscles and tendons. So what we're going to do is that we're going to stand here. We're going to put the right leg on top, the right foot on top of the left knee. We're going to raise with our arms, and we're going to come like this. The weight is being transferred from my hands to my shoulders. And we keep the right foot flexed. We keep opening the back of the leg. You should start feeling in a while your hip opening. And other side. Let's go. Left foot in, flex it, Foundation of the right foot. Yes, that's great, Alexandra. And really go, see if you can go back even more so that your shoulders and your heads end up being in the same line. This is where we're really working on mobility and range. You see, the movement is as long, as wide as we can. Don't, we're still very much learning technique, so feel very comfortable about doing everything very slowly. There you go. And rest. Just being here as well, if you have mobility problems, just being here is equally as good, or you can even be here with your back on the floor with the same formation, left hand pulling right knee, and you'll feel also an opening. This is more of a stretch, but this is the mobility version of this exercise. All right, so this is hip mobility. Any questions? All right, great. Let's go to the forearms. So many times we have problems with typing, where we feel cramps here and here. So we're going to do a couple of exercises to just extend and widen the mobility of your forearms. So we're going to start with the external forearm extension. So what you're going to do, so you're going to sit on this position first, and you're going to tuck your toes. And now we're going to externally rotate our forearms and our arms. And we're going to place them in one line, here. And now we're going to play with transferring the weight from our hands to our toes. You don't have to go much further. Just use the pain as a signal to how far you should go. And come back. Front, back, and front. Hands are strong in the floor, and then they come back. Strong in the floor, and they come back. Great. And now let's go to the wrists. So we've opened up here. Now we're going to show a dynamic hands wrist stretch. Dynamic hand stretch, and then we go to the wrists. So for your upper hand, for this cartilage here, which normally gets really hurt from just typing forever, or scrolling, or whatever you do with your hands. So you bring it up and then down. The weight goes to the top, your body goes in it, and then down. And up and down. So your fingers are strong in the floor, shoulder distance apart, and down. Up and down. For example, I have very limited mobility in my hands. So my hands are kind of crooked from birth, which I can still be a dancer and I can still type, I can do everything, but it means that my range is very short. So if you, for example, have a more flexible hand, then maybe you can go deeper up. You have to start sensing. The pain is the very good sensor for it. If it feels like it's hurting and it doesn't feel right, don't go any further. Get the technique first and then push yourself. And now we do a wrist stretch. So in the same position, we're going to come here, place our hands on the floor. Now we're going to make circles, and I'm going to really put the weight on my wrists and circle it back. You can do it as slow as you want. You can change sides to make sure that you really juice it out. And just do it slowly. Really place at a certain point the weight through all of your wrists in a circling motion. Here we go. Very good. All right. Some fire here. How are we feeling? Yeah, let's do a little bit like this with our hands, just so that we're not holding any stress, but I feel quite good. I feel quite good when I do this. These are, again, it's the same logic. So you do this exercise in the repetitions. We're recording this so you can always see the exercises again if you need. But for a good mobility practice, you do it on your own, in your own time. You can do it 5 minutes, you can do it 1 hour, you can do however you want, however you're feeling. So strengthening, this is the last part. And this is the part that is more about cardiovascular work, planks, everything that has to do with strengthening your muscle. But since it's the beginning, since we're just starting to learn this, just make sure that you really, really learn the technique first, and then you can start pushing more yourself. So we're just going to start with some cardiovascular steps. You can do it with shoes or barefoot. You can do it also with socks, but just be careful that you don't slide on the floor. So we're going to first start doing this march forward and hustle back. So we're going to start here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then hustle back. Other side, 1, 2, 3, hustle back. 2 more times, 1, 2, 3, hustle back. 1, 2, 3, hustle back. Imagine that wherever you are, it's very cold. You don't want to leave the house, so to go running, or you're in quarantine, isolation. You can do this. Each one of these exercises should do 100 steps, but I'm just going to be showing it to you so that we can go through everything. So the next one is, my boyfriend thinks that this is very funny, but it's the cowgirl walk. So we're going to open we're going to externally rotate our hips, put our hands here. We're going to walk to the front. Imagine you're a cowgirl. Exactly. It's funny. But you pay attention on your hips.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
Funny. It's funny, but it's a great exercise for your hips. And your attention should be all into having all the movement happening on your lower legs while keeping the hips up. You see, I stay on the same level, looking like Donald Duck. Funny, I'm wearing the Polygon t-shirt while doing this. I really look like a Minecraft bot. All right, and then the last one, this is a very graceful one, but this is like the ice skating. So the ice skating. 2, 3. So it's really important here that you go as low as you can, and then same arm, same leg. You should grab the momentum. It becomes easier to do. Make it light, make it wide. Yes. Okay. Now our last cardiovascular one. Oh, this was all the cardiovascular ones. Now let's go for our modified planks. So as I said in the last class, planks are one of the most efficient exercise tools because you really train all of the body. So I'm just going to show you some modifications that you can do to strengthen yourself while doing plank. So let's start with the plank walk in and out. So you're here standing, mountain pose. Now your head goes down, your body follows, and you walk with your hands until you reach plank. And now you go back. Really roll your body up. Go down again. And we're already warm enough to do the strength exercises. So Just feel how different your body was feeling. And now this is really the moment that you're pushing. Really use your hands. And last time, walk, walk, fashion, baby. Come down, come back up. So hands are doing all the work. All right. And now let's do a hip shift. So this one is really good to strengthen also deep muscles of the hips and also your arms. So we are starting not on a plank, but in a surfboard. Now we pivot the hips back and bring them front and back and front. It's really all about the transfer of weight. You know that it goes from your hands to your feet. And as you do it, your mobility, your strength becomes big. Last time. And back. Very good. Let's do knee pulls. So this is the harder version for the ones that want to use this class also to work out or to do it in a very effective way. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to a normal plank. And then here, we're going to bring the knee as close to the elbow as we can. Use the breath. Other side. And the last one, and come back. Very nice. Whew. All right, any questions about these planks?
Can we stop?
We're almost, not yet, not yet. But the last one is very, very soft. It's just about strengthening the knees. So this is, I think, my biggest fear as a body practitioner has always been my knees, because the knee is such a complex articulation. And if you damage it somehow, it's really, really hard recovery, more than other articulations. So I always think that these certain exercises to strengthen your knees are very important. So they're very simple. We're gonna start first with the knee extension. So bring my lower leg up, point my foot, flex, and down. Point, flex, and down.
Wow.
Up, flex, point, flex, and down. Last time, here, 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 and here. Very subtle movement, but very good. Also, you can do this anywhere, on the bus, at work, wherever you feel comfortable, at home. And it's very, very simple. The other one that we're going to do is heel and toe raises. So here, it's really, again, working with the lower body. So what we're going to do is that we're going to flex and then rise. Flex and rise. The feet flex and then they rise. And this might not seem much, but we are really stretching the shin bones and their connection to the knees here. Strengthen it a lot. When you feel pain here or here somewhere in your knee, it's this, the shin muscle that normally is very tensed up. So up and flex. Up and flex. If you want a little bit more intense here, what you can do is come to the edge of the chair with your butt and then place a little bit of weight. And then back. but only do this if you really feel good. All right, and then our last one. Aaliyah, you should be very happy. We're almost done.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm joking.
With the
So
planks.
this one is a great, I would always say, do this before you go dancing out. Because, you know, sometimes when we're dancing out and we get drunk or whatever, like we kind of become very messy. And this is a great exercise. I always do this before I go out or go to the gym or whatever. And you bend your knees, feet hip distance apart, and then you pull them together like in a little bowl, and you rotate your knees 25 times to each side. Really go through 25 times. This is the best exercise you can do for the strengthening of your knees. Really make a wide radius in your circle, and then other side. Really take the time. You don't have to rush anything. Here we go.
My ankles are really loving this.
Yeah, it's really, and you know, the slower you do it, the more attention you can really
Harder
have.
it is. Yeah.
Imagine like that your knees, they have like a glow sticks, you know, so you're just like really making a circle with your glow sticks, two parallel circles to each other. Wow. Wow.
Woo!
Wow. And finish. All right,
Oh man.
great. How's everyone feeling?
Good.
Really good.
All right,
Feeling
let's
like
just
we shouldn't be sitting all day.
let me just change the camera here. All right, here you go. Yeah, I mean, it's a range of exercises for sure, right? And I think that depending on which part, if you have parts of your body that hurt the most, you should spend more time doing those or spend more attention on that. Whereas if you are, you know, as I said, pain is a great way to kind of leverage the situation that your body is in. So are there any feelings or post body sensations from this? Was there something that really resonated with you? Or are there any other stretches, any other body parts that I could show you some stretches now?
Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
Thank you for this. This is a really great session. I think I'll definitely be revisiting the recording for different. I find that like my hips are very open,
Mhm.
but my hamstrings are so tight. And
Yeah.
so like sometimes even if just doing exercises that aren't even focused on stretching, I feel that real tightness in the back of my leg. And so, I don't know if it's like gotten lazy there because my hips are so open. I don't know the best ways to release that.
Well, you know, a lot of times it's normal that you have a part of your body and articulation that is much more, it's hyperextended, and then another part of your body is not so much. This is very normal to happen. I have it, for example, also in my hips. So like my hips are very open, and exactly the hamstrings are not as strong. So I share that with you. And I think the best way to do this is to make sure that you do strengthening hip exercises, which I can send you some, and make sure that you stretch your hamstrings. So you strengthen, you know, like sometimes your hips are so open that they're like, woo, woo, woo. I have that a lot. So, but that, you know, you can go so far that it compromises other parts. So I would suggest strengthening exercises for your hips. I'll send you some, and do a lot of stretches on your hamstrings.
Cool, thank you.
All right. Anyone else have something to share or would like me to go to send you some other exercises? Some notes.
Yeah, I always love being reminded how mobility and like small movement and slow movement is so hard. Like the heat I've built up just from this movement is always, it's always a surprise. Even though that's what I practice. I love
Yeah.
it. It's just like, it's such a nice reminder and how everything is connected.
Yeah, and like, we're like a car, we need oil. And these are things that, create oiliness, juiciness in our bodies. And like just, we have this layer that sits between our muscles, which is called the matrix, and this is just like a layer of very, very liquid information that goes through. And when the matrix gets stuck, when there's not enough like juiciness and oiliness going there, that's when we start feeling stuck. So we have to do, even if we are really good and we're like the best and we practice every day, we still feel the same sort of relief and like good feeling every time that we do it. So yeah, I totally agree. And I think especially in the small movements, in disconnections, today I made it, I separated very much into like body parts so as to make it easier for like kind of like instant relief, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I have pain here, but I will, in the next classes, I will talk more in the next like movement rehab. I will talk more about like posture, and that really posture has to do with the whole body. And I think that we also separated between like muscles, joints, and bones, which was most of what we were doing today. And then we have nerves, which is very small work, working with the like awareness in the lymphatic system, in the nerve system, much smaller movements, much more reduced, but it's all about awareness. And then I hope to work with the fascia, which is sort of like the layer of water that holds everything together. And that's even slower and even more imperceptible. So there's different approaches to deal with rehab and mobility and strengthening in every one of these systems. So we're definitely going to go through a lot of them. All right. Also, I know that a lot of times, especially for people that don't practice so much, it's not so easy to, elaborate dialogue towards what we're feeling in the body. It might take a while, so feel free to share something with me later, or, like if tomorrow you wake up in the morning and you're curious about something else, or you want some clarification on some of the exercises that I propose, or you like to know more advanced versions, just feel free at any time to just come on Slack and talk to me. I love talking about body. I love stretching. It's what I do every day of my life, 24/7, period. So thank you so much. Today I have to go, cannot really go over 7 because I have another class. So thank you so much, everyone. And Aliyah, is the recording saving in your computer?
It's saving on the cloud. So I'll have
Okay.
Vivek, because this is Vivek's account. So
Okay.
I'll get it from him and I'll post it when it's ready.
All right. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you, everyone. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure.
Have a good class.
See you Tuesday for some yoga.
See you.
Vinyasa flow. Bye-bye.